Racing Progressive Factory Yamaha.
So I did make note of that. So
Okay,
they
great.
must be really smart with their money over at Star Yamaha. Progressive is now on board, probably to fund some of the.
Bobby Regan, dude, him and Brad Hoffman. Like, did you guys see the team shoot of like everybody lined up?
All 57 of
The
them?
fact that you have to pan out on a on a picture to get the whole team in is just ridiculous.
How about everybody else in that picture with both arms up on the handlebar, and then Styles Robertson's over there like this because he broke his collarbone?
Well, how about? I thought he also messed up his wrist.
Oh, I don't know, but he's in the picture.
I think he
with
broke
one
his
hand up.
wrist.
Styles is fucking hurt again.
Yeah, so is McAdoo. But I know I have this different team. I also find it
Is the
funny.
McAdoo thing
I just saw a
confirmed?
picture
Yeah.
of McAdoo with his chick on Instagram, and he looks fine.
He's hurt. I don't know
What
the
he
extent
hurt?
of it. I don't know. I just heard he was hurt. That's why he's going East Coast.
Who'd you hear he was hurt from? Vital?
And then Michael Lindsay.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So with the star team here, so we've got Justin Cooper,
Look,
and I'm gonna keep this going from last year because I did listen to this
go
part
ahead,
too.
because I got some points here.
Joey Savacci 2.0.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you said that.
His 1 year here on a factory 450 ride that he earned because of the title or whatever, and then next year it's going to be rough. I think it's going to be really rough.
Well, I mean, Joey's second year on a 450 was fine.
He didn't ride Cowie for 2 years, did he?
No, I'm just saying his second year riding a 450. Like, his 450 career has been pretty much fine.
I'm talking about rough getting a ride.
Oh, yeah,
period.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Not
who's he going to get boned by?
Yeah, it's a good
who,
point.
Justin Cooper?
Yeah.
Who's he going to ride for?
Star, because Tomac is going to ride to the sunset.
Yeah, who's he not?
Maybe.
So who's going to take his spot?
Maybe.
Because Coop's going to be done soon, so...
Who's taking his spot?
Maybe.
This is why...
Maybe.
Answer the question.
I get what
Who's
you're
taking his
I
spot?
don't know. Look,
I get what you're saying, but this is the same thing
You're
with, like,
going on the assumption that those two are going to retire, okay? It's
coming.
We sat here last year, and Justin blabbed for 10 minutes about how Tomac was going to struggle because he was old and he raced too much in 2022.
Team VRM.
Which we all saw how that went. It was winning the title until his leg decided,
Hey,
like, fuck
I was
you.
kinda right.
No, you weren't. You
Oh,
literally
yeah.
were
No,
like,
I'm just kidding.
You literally
I'm
were
kidding.
like,
I'm kidding.
he raced too much in
No, that check
2022.
was sitting there with a signature on it, and they put it right in the shredders.
He's gonna be tired, like whatever.
Yeah, I'm
and
only kidding.
I'm like
I'm only
listening to
kidding.
that this morning, just dying because I'm like, bro, he was so far off on the Tomac prep. But anyway, so yeah, so okay, maybe if they both retire or one of them retires, then yeah, he can maintain there. But we heard some stuff last year about I don't want to say financials of the team, but the financial dynamic of the team that might be changing.
As far as
Ownership-wise?
get into
Oh,
detail?
that's- Yeah.
Ownership wise,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how the team might turn into not 57, not the biggest team in
so. Brian
motocross
Deegan
history.
is buying the team.
No, somebody
not
already
that.
on the team.
No, yeah, not that. Well,
Somebody already on the team.
look. Let's
Can
just
you guys
let's just to
listen,
put it.
Can you guys talk about this or no?
We'll talk about it. So off the air,
Off the record, kind of
off
thing?
the record.
Okay.
But let's just put it out there so that we're on the record of saying that as of the end of 2023,
There's changes.
we have heard rumors that there is going to be changes in the not super. It may be 2 or 3 years, but in the not super distant future, there may be ownership changes going on at the Star Racing team, which will then cut down on the amount of racers that Star Racing
Yeah, and
has.
they
So
need-
no more pay for your ride.
Yes.
They need to get rid of some of them 250s guys, man.
So anyway,
It's pay
okay,
for your
so
ride, dude.
where do you guys? I think Justin Cooper lands much in the same. So just to run through last year, he raced 1, 2,
Fifth
3,
at
4,
Daytona.
5.
Dude, he was
No,
impressive.
he was 7, 7, 10, 9, 6th at Daytona.
6. Okay, whatever.
Okay, and I really think he maintains that 5 to 10th place, dude. He's very consistent and he's very good. He gets decent starts and he just rides his race, which is awesome.
VRM.
But I don't. Yeah, he's
No, he's got a little bit to go before he's a VRM.
No, he's got a VRM mentality
He's
right
got
now.
a VRM race mentality.
Yeah. So, but
And a rich girlfriend.
what?
We're not going to.
We're not getting into that. Well, there's some things we can tell you about that off the air too.
Oh, boy.
We're not getting.
We had all sorts of info here. But
not-
anyway,
Wow, so this 3-hour conversation,
there was a long conversation
Okay.
had at multiple
Yeah.
places last year
Let's not talk
with
about
lots of info.
wow, I've been out of the loop a
Yes,
little
you
while.
have.
But
You can
anyway,
show for the show once in a while in the summer.
I think Justin Cooper will be sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
You look at some of the Star videos and stuff, and Coop doesn't seem to really have anything for him.
Yep.
Um,
We're gonna get to him in a second.
yeah, but I think he's a consistent top 10 guy, and that's really all you can ask for your rookie season on a 450 full season. I think he gets through the full season because he has that VRM, at least in the race mode. He isn't that guy that's going to put his balls on the crossbar pad. He's going to ride within his limits.
Yep.
And I think he gets through the whole season.
I think so too.
At the end of the year when guys start dropping down, I could even see him maybe on the podium. I don't know.
6 to 10, both Supercross outdoors all year.
Yep. Okay, great, cool, super. Moving on.
Yeah, well, that's Justin Cooper. I think he.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to say about him. He's just that's who he is.
I think he's going to be the new Brock Tickle.
Maybe.
Like cheese pizza. Not great, not terrible.
It's a good comparison.
Can we make a T-shirt that just says Justin Cooper's cheese pizza?
And then just have a picture of Jay Coop's face on it.
Like his face on the pepperoni?
Yes. All right. So let's talk Cooper Webb here. And
Thick boy.
I will fire this off here.
Thick boy Webb is back in season.
His career is over. I don't think he's going to do anything. And there's been a lot of talk about oh, well, you can't count Paris and everything. I'm not even talking about Paris. I'm talking about I watched a guy who took all summer off, switched brands to go back to a bike that he said he loved, all this crap, whatever, and then just got completely obliterated at SMX. I don't see him doing anything. He doesn't have the high-end speed to stick with these guys. Tomac, Hunter, Jet.
He doesn't have the high-end speed.
He doesn't have the high-end speed. He may get a start and be up there, and his racecraft is very good. We've all seen this. But Jet and Hunter's racecraft does not suck like Kenny. So he isn't going to... And he can't play head games with them. First off, okay, Jet is still a kid, and so there's a possibility of some brain things going on, but Jet's brain works really...
You know what? I'm going to keep beating this. We'll get to it. Go ahead.
Jet's brain works really well, but guys like Hunter, he can't play the brain games with like he could with Kenny and things like he can't. It's not going to happen. Hunter is more mentally sound than that. So is Tomac, because Tomac just doesn't give a shit, but whatever. I don't know, man. In my opinion, I think he runs in the top 10 all year, but I don't think we see him do anything. I think he's irrelevant.
The wild thing is, before or when he got hurt last year, when his fucking head almost got exploded,
Yeah.
he was, second in the points?
He would have won the title, I think.
Go up
He was second in the points. If he wasn't second, he was a close third.
He was second.
That's the crazy thing to think about with Coop is, we talk about all this and the ridiculousness of his, end of 2023 was, but the night that he got hurt, he was in the title chase mathematically.
He what? No, he.
That's the wild thing to think about is we say all this, and I'm going to say I don't disagree with you at all. But the wild thing to think is what 7 months ago, this man, had he not almost had his head disconnected from his neck, he would have won the title last year only because obviously Eli got hurt, but he was ahead of Chase.
This is where we run into recency bias, because then you go back and look at the results here. And,
you're not wrong.
And now I feel stupid about this, about what I just said, but at the same time I don't. I fully believe.
But you have to take it. You have to compartmentalize everything you see.
You're
not wrong.
Are you ready for these results though?
They weren't good. They weren't good.
2, 2, 4, 5, 1.
Oh, you're talking
2,
about
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 4, 4, 5.
Who was this?
Cooper.
The Supercross
Webb.
season.
That was last year?
That was last year's
2023.
SX 2023.
A lot of twos in there.
He would have been
fucking believable.
If he would have been there the night that Eli got hurt, he would be our 2023
Yeah, he
Supercross
would be.
champion.
But then you go to SMX 873.
That is the wildest
Yeah,
thing.
but
That is
he went from 8th to 7th, 10th to 3rd.
that
But
is just the wild thing to think about with him is the fact that 7 months ago, had this man not had his head run over, he would be the 2023 Supercross
It
champ.
makes me sound super stupid
No,
with what I just said.
You have to look at it.
Man,
You have to look at
dude.
it in the vacuum of what we've seen. Another wild thing to think though is how up and down Paris was. He was on the board in Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Something that if you would have told me he would have had Super Bowl over Jet, Hunter, and Kenny, I'd be like, even for a night, I'd be like, no way.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, I think it all depends on if the fire is still there to win. And if he has that fire, he's going to figure it out. Yes, he does look a little thicker, but a guy that's built that way.
Phil said on Pulp the other day that he's shaving it already.
Let me ask you though, where
Yeah,
does his motivation come from at this
exactly-
point? That's my biggest question with him.
I think his motivation is-
dumbasses like us talking.
No, I think it's like I'm going back to Star because I wanted to, and people don't think I'm going to win, and people are calling me fat. People are saying that fat shaming.
I mean, the thing is that everybody's talking. Like, this is not a us thing talking about thick. All the podcasts I listen to are like, yeah, he was thick.
I think Coop, to me,
Paris.
the biggest thing with him is he has to have motivation, because I think Coop is a very he draws his strength from negative.
He's got to take that shit personally.
For negativity, and that's how he won his 2 Supercross titles, because, okay, man, they're like, oh, like, you know, that was a down year for Eli, and, like, nobody really saw it coming, and nobody really expected it, and, like, Kenny, you got in his head, and then we go to 2021, and it was like, oh, well, you know, Eli's exiting Cowie and all this kind of shit, and it's a negativity thing, and I think that's where he draws his motivation from. Mm-hmm. What is his motivation for 2024 and beyond? And I'll tell you this.
I'll be completely honest. I think it's all a stick. I think he is. I will say, mentality-wise, he is very, very much like Michael Jordan, and I think he'll draw his chip on his shoulder from anywhere. Like,
if he has that motivation,
he can find something.
Like,
if
somebody will send him a fucking audio clip when I clip this and say and title it that Cooper Webb will be irrelevant in 2024. And he doesn't fucking know us from a fucking hole in the ground, nor does he really care, but he'll take that, fucking put it in here, and be like, ah.
If he can draw motivation that way, I'll tell you this, Coop will be that guy he was 2023 before he got hurt.
Yeah.
But if he can't draw motivation from anything and really dig deep, it's going to be a struggle bus year.
And the thing is that, like, part of last year, and we've heard that it was very bad over there at KTM. Very bad. He was fucking pissed. Yeah. From what I've heard.
The facts are, he would have been your 2023 champ. If he would have been there
if he would have not got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I put him in the title conversation at this point because you can't count the man out.
No.
He might not have the raw speed to go,
but he's never needed it too.
He's never needed it, and even just watching videos, again, like little things you can see in like the Dean Wilson Star video. Yes, I said he didn't really have anything for Justin Cooper, but if you watch Dean's GoPro, you can see him like cut this line that's like not even there.
Yeah.
And he started working that in the beginning of the Moto. Yep. And by the end of the Moto, guess who was taking that because he saw it develop?
Dino.
Dean.
Yep.
But he was already had it broken in, and Clinton Fowler made this point, and it's a very good one, is Coop will run, I don't know, maybe a 52, a 53 or something first half of the race. And then all the other guys will be running the main line, running like 50s or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they'll keep running that line and go back to a 53, where Coop's 53 with those lines will turn into that 50. Mm-hmm. In that second half of the race, as the lines are breaking in, he does become the faster guy.
Yeah.
Coop is literally, doesn't ride the same, but is on that note, just the way he connects the track throughout a race, he's K-Dub. He's the new version of K-Dub. Like, he's never going to be the fastest guy.
Nope.
But he's always going to be the guy that's there at the end, and you go, how in the hell did I not drop this dude? Oh, yeah, by the way, it's because he's using half the energy I am at the end of this race.
There's a video that he released, or that he put out, where he was going into the corner, and this reminded me of KTM Coop. Like, he was very front-end dependent with that bike. Knife, turn, get through the corner. And on that bike, going in, standing it up on the front wheel.
He did it at Paris.
Like, that's kind of dangerous if he can get that bike turned down.
And the one thing I will say about Paris, though, the only thing I took away from that was good for him, it wasn't so much ending Paris, but at the beginning of it, his whoop speed was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can really take a lot from Paris.
No, I don't either. I don't ever take a lot. And I said this to him because we were talking about Kenny with the way Paris was for Kenny up and down. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, we also watched Marv in 2017 going in 2018 annihilate everybody in the off races, and look how 2018 went for him.
Well, and I mean, if you watched the first night only, you would think, oh, fuck, Jet's going to just dominate everyone. I mean, like, there's no. So, all right, let's move on here. Let's talk Eli Tomac. You guys talk that. I got to go pee again.
Tomac is definitely a title contender. He is driving the ship for Team VRM, Bet Rider Mentality. He, like... If this mentality of Eli would have been in his early years at Kawasaki, he would have been unstoppable. Where he was okay with getting the fourths and fifths, and look where that got him. He had a check on the table for a championship bonus with his name on it, ready to go, until something you can't ever even plan happened. He's gonna be in the mix. The raw speed will be there.
It was last year.
The fitness is obviously there. The new bike we were worried about. Obviously, we're not worried
Not
about
an
that. He's going to be there. Now, it just depends on the long game because he's got another guy that, yes, maybe he is young, but even though Jet Lawrence is the age that he is, kind of has that same mentality. So it's going to be a long all-season chess game between those two, I believe.
I fully believe that if that Achilles tendon is fine, and I said this to Wyman, I was like, I think we're going to know real quick at A1. Like, usually we can't put a lot of on A1, but we're going to find out right quick in a hurry the first heat race that Eli's in, whether it's Heat 1 or Heat 2, if that Achilles good and he can go. If that Eli shows up, it's going to be a long season for both Jet and Chase and everybody else because Eli, and we talked about this the last couple of years, his titles and stuff. Like, he was really good at the beginning of the season, and then, like, where was his speed really because he had such a big gap? Dude, last year, halfway in the season, let's be real, Eli was mailing in a lot of those races where we're like, what the hell is he doing? Like, what is he just, like, is it finally happening? Is he finally just hit his peak or hit his wall?
And then come out the next week.
And I go back to this, and I'm so glad this race happened because now it's going to be a reference point for how much ever longer Eli decides to ride. Houston. What was Chase Sexton doing all day that weekend? He was 2 seconds a lap faster.
Is that the one where he kicked his ass in the heat race?
Yeah, he was 2 seconds faster all day long, and we sat up here and we all said the same thing. We were watching that going, holy shit, Chase figured it out. Like, he finally unlocked it. Like, now it's all going to happen. And what did Eli do in the main? He gets out in front of Chase and just walks away from him. Mm-hmm. Like, the whole speed thing. And it was because Eli was just playing the game, the long game throughout that night. He waited till the track broke down. He had some different lines figured out. Chase was really good in the whoops, as he always is. And the whole VRM, however you want to talk about it, Eli figured it out. I'm here to tell you, if Eli's Achilles is fine and that is not an issue, I feel like a lot of these boys are in trouble because I said this to him when we were talking about this whole thing, what Eli's going to show up. And I said, if Eli's just coming back to prove that, hey, this was my title, I lost it only because I got hurt, and now I'm just going to kind of finish because I don't want my legacy, even though he doesn't have dick to prove to anybody at this point in his career.
Right.
It was just because I got hurt. Then Eli's just going to be a 3rd to 5th place guy. But if Eli's coming back to prove a point in the sense that, oh no, like the big dog is still here. And
the big dog is still
and we talk about Jet and Chase and this new generation come in and him still trying to prove that the old generation is still better, which from some of his comments, the little bit of comments he made with the Dirt Shark video that they did with Hayden at his house, and just some of the little things he said makes me believe that it's the latter. He's coming back to prove a point that he still is the big dog. I know Jet and Chase are amazing. They're the new guard. They're going to win a whole lot of championships, but I'm here to tell you, I still put my money on Eli Tomac. Because he's proven something that neither of them, even though Jet just went 22-0 outdoors, he's proven something that they haven't yet, and that's that he can do it through a full season consistently over and over on a 450.
I mean, he's in the big 5.
And Eli has also learned from the winning everything and still having one bad race and just ruining it.
Yeah.
Like, he's been there. And some of the other guys we'll talk about haven't been there. They don't know how to lose like that. So
no, Jet hasn't lost yet. Jet doesn't know how to lose because he's won his whole entire career.
Yeah, and we'll get to him, but I want to piggyback off like the Deegan thing, the video.
Yeah.
I think that is a low-key power move for Tomac. Like, it's invites that kid up there to,
I thought Hayden was the one that went out there and he had to get permission to go ride.
But
I don't know if any of us will ever know. Either way, I
either way,
I agree with what you're saying.
Like, that tells me that Tomac wants to kind of know where he's at. He wants something to chase after, and that means like that he still wants to win. The motivation level's there to pluck a guy out of the 250 class and have somebody come to your farm and kind of see what you're doing, but also have somebody to chase after, which means that the motivation's there, I think, in my opinion.
Which to me, why I say that if the motivation is there, it's not just to prove this is not my legacy. I'm still picking him just because out of all these dudes, and it's not fair to Jet and Chase because they're still early in this career, Eli is at this point the greatest. He's the greatest guy riding a dirt bike as far as a racer on the planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take into consideration his last full healthy year. Or, I mean, even if the Achilles didn't go out, you got to think he won the Supercross title, he won the outdoor title, he won Motocross of Nations, and then he was on the way to keeping the streak alive and winning another Supercross title. Like, that's unheard of in this era.
Think about how many titles this man has won since 2017.
Yeah, in this era, that's some Carmichael type shit.
It is. Oh, he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, we talked about this last year. It's funny how he went from holy shit, he's never gonna win a Supercross title to like a few years later, all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's one of the greats. Like the amount of wins, the amount of titles, all that stuff. Yeah. Here's the thing: is unless something happens this year, he gets hurt again. I don't think this is his last year either.
No, and
I think he's going to keep going because I think he's having a good time riding his bike.
I actually fully believe that if Supercross goes well, even if he doesn't win the title, but he's there all the way to the end, I think he rides outdoors even.
That'll be interesting. I don't
see Eli not riding outdoors. I was
going to say
he likes to suffer.
I think he wants to.
He does.
I think he wants to win another one outdoors. So that's why I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I could see being like, I
also think he wants to win another Motocross of Nations.
So, do you guys think the SMX crown weighs on Tomac at all, or is he kind of like, okay, this is the changing of the industry? Like in the future, SMX is going to be the thing to look at. But is he still old enough to where it doesn't matter to him?
He's built for that shit.
I'll be really honest with you. The SMX title is kind of like the World Supercross thing. Like they're trying to push it as like this big thing, but it's not going to be like you're going to have to build some rapport with it, okay? And I understand that they went after it last year of trying to make it a thing or whatever, but no one. I mean, dude, even Sexton the other night on Pulp was talking like, oh, yeah, like, I want to win a motocross and supercross title. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and an SMX one. Like, I don't think anybody now cares about it that much.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Deegan cares about it.
No, I don't think even he does.
Like the younger generation coming up is going to think about it. Like your Beaumares, your Julian Beaumares, your Base Flugs.
I think starting with we'll call it Deegan. Like Deegan. Yeah, that from there on generations, that's going to be the big thing. I think everybody that's already been established, I don't think so.
I think the only thing Eli cares about, even thinks about as far as SMX is concerned, is the fact that he gets to ride a hybrid track.
Yeah,
because I look at where Chicagoland was, and I go, "Oh, Eli would have had
killed everyone.
He would have had a fucking field day on a track like that.
Destroyed everybody.
And that's what I mean. For him, I don't think the championship matters. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I agree with you guys. I think it's more, I get to ride a hybrid track? Because we all saw how he was at Monster Cup. So I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying a hybrid.
I mean, AC did beat him in that Monster Cup, but
I think I think as long as the money stays the same too, I think no matter how much money you have, like another $1 million, especially in this industry, because it's not like you become like a billionaire or anything. I think that plays a factor in it too. So, all right, moving on here.